Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode. We're so happy that you're here. It's been a freaking journey, man. You're always going to hear me say it. I'm super excited. I couldn't be happier that you guys stop in and be a part of this growth, man. You know, Blue Collar Collective, just building up this blue collar space, really talking about, what the country needs, what the world needs, and the world really needs you. And that's really what it comes down to. If you're new to the channel, we appreciate you being here, man. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. We're trying to get as many views on these things as we possibly can because we really do think the work that we're doing is going to help the next generation and even some of you guys who are already kind of in the middle of your journey as we speak. So it's greatly appreciated, everybody that comes, everybody that hits the like button, everybody that helps share the show. It really helps us, and we appreciate you guys endlessly. On today's episode, I wanted to get into the topic of from chaos to control. And what do I mean by that? Anybody that starts a business, or even if you have like a side business or whatever, in the beginning, you really start just taking on anything, right? I mean, you open your doors to all possibilities. You're not at a point yet where you can really pick and choose. You're not at a point yet where you feel confident enough to pick between this customer and that customer or this job and that job. You kind of just take everything that comes through the door within reason, obviously. You're not going to step outside of your skill set, but within your skill set, you're pretty much taking on different opportunities and different things. And as time evolves, right? So like on our business, it started exactly the same way. We built the company, we put everything into play, we got all the financials in place. We got the company in place, we created GMAC, and then we start rolling, right? So right out of the gate, it's not like we ended up with 20 clients. We struggled to go through all these different things to create the company that you see now. And it's still evolving, right? Like that's the other thing in business is it never really stops. It's a continuously evolving thing that you have to constantly be putting work into. You have to constantly be taking steps back, looking at it from a 40,000 foot view, 30,000 foot view, and figuring out what the best course of action is to get the most out of your particular company. But with that being said, as you start taking on clientele that maybe 6, 7, 8 years down the road you wouldn't, particularly get involved with. And what ends up happening though is as you start to grow and as your business starts to flourish, or even in your side job, like let's just say this is a side gig, if you're on this channel, you have to understand that I'm somebody that cares very much about quality. Like, what is the quality that you're putting out? What is the quality of your product? What is the quality of your craftsmanship, your workmanship, and all those things? And how are you bringing that to the table? And how is it affecting your customer? So in the beginning, when you don't have many clients, it's easy to put forth your best efforts 1,000% of the time because you're not taking care of too many things. So you can really, the attention is in the detail, as they say. Now, time starts to evolve. And you start to get busy and word of mouth starts to move and maybe you start to put ads out. I've never had to put ads out. Our company really took off and we were able to kind of scale organically. But with that, some people do, different ad spends and things like that. That's fine. But when the influx begins and you start getting really busy, how do you manage that busy, right? Is it chaotic where things are all over the place and you're just kind of trying to navigate, figure out your way through? And typically that's what ends up happening. In a lot of ways it happened to us. And that's one of the lessons I really wanted to get through to you guys on this particular training, on this particular video, is that sometimes if I had to do it all over again, I would have put the SOPs, systems and processes in play, immediately, And again, SOPs change as time evolves, right? Your company gets bigger, your company gets smaller. There's a lot of evolution. There's a lot of things that happen. So somewhere in between there, you're constantly, maybe you add things that your company does later on down the road that it wasn't doing before. So it's always an evolving situation and you're always staying on top of how that evolution is taking place inside of your company. But in the beginning, when you don't have a clear idea of what it is you're trying to do or a direction that you're taking the company, And then things really start ramping up. Like for us, it started like for the first year or two, we were really kind of just doing a lot of little side shit. We took on one client, which was a pretty big client, but it wasn't like the end all be all. And then all of a sudden the floodgates open and we were not really situated to provide this type of service that we wanted. And our systems and processes were kind of all over the place. We didn't have proper SOPs in place and nothing obviously happened. You're still watching me here and the company flourished, but we were kind of like, everything was in haste, you know. It's like, all right, we got to get this together. We got to get this together. We got to get this together. And it was kind of chaotic at times, you know, head spinning type of shit. And it really made the process of growing difficult. And we kind of got to this point where it was a standstill because we were not prepared. So it's super important for you guys to get really dialed in on what your systems look like. What does the process look like? From the time that you take a phone call, from the time you dispatch the phone call out, how are you keeping track of who's calling, where people are going, what system are you using for scheduling, things like that. We found a system called House Call Pro. To full transparency, that's what we use for scheduling. It's a great tool. Every company is a little bit different how you want to operate, but it's easy to share different jobs with different technicians. Maybe you're just new to the business. You're the only, owner operator of your company. Maybe you don't need something that vast, but for us, it was a great tool and a way to keep track of each and every job, and also have it scheduled out. So you kind of would know Monday through Friday where you were, what did you do, what was the scope of work. You can upload photos. Again, this is not a pitch for that particular company, but I'm just saying, as we started dialing all these little things in, as we kind of got away from acting like a bunch of dinosaurs and got into a lot of the technology that's available. I'm sorry, my dog is down here. He's sharing it on the show today. It really helped us kind of dial things in. And then as we kind of like righted the ship and got things where they needed to be, we were able to refine our processes. And we were able to get some things on paper. And I mean, I've continuously dialed those things in, right? Like even to the point where I'm trying to create back-end stuff behind the company that's like training processes, right? Like I shoot videos like this. Like this one I don't share with my guys, but there are a lot of technical videos that we put out where we're talking about very technical things. And then in those, I could put those in the back end of the company as visual SOPs so that we could generate a almost like a masterclass for the guys when they're out in the field, and it's troubleshooting stuff. So they can go in and watch short videos, long videos, whatever it is. Because the other thing that happens, I wasn't able to handle the influx of phone calls I was getting because I was dealing with everything head on. So that's another way for me I give them a lot of different pieces of information that they can use and utilize. And I mean, even into our social media, they can go to videos that are super helpful to them. And also within the company, as we grew and brought on new talent and new people, we created an ecosystem where everybody was able to lean on each other. Because as an owner, the last thing you need is get the influx from the customers, getting influx of phone calls from the customers, influx of calls from your guys, especially in the winter season, which is our busy season, which we're in right now. It can get crazy. If I'm getting 20 calls from my guys and I'm getting 20 calls from the customers, then it really makes it hard for me to be out there doing the job I need to do. So all these systems that we put in place over time make a seamless transition from one thing to the other. And am I sitting here telling you that everything is perfect and it's always going to be hunky-dory? No, of course not. And you're always going to be refining and refining whatever it is that you're building. But it's super important to get dialed in on these things. And if you get into a situation or you get into the mindset of creating systems right out of the gate, it'll be super simple in the beginning because there isn't so much to deal with. But then as time evolves, if you have already put that in place and now all you're doing is refining it, you'll see 5, 10, 15, God willing, 20 years down the road, this continuous refinement of those systems based on where you are as a company. You're going to find the transition from making, $1 million a year to $5 million a year to $10 million a year way easier because everything's kind of streamlined and everybody's where they need to be. And just like everybody else, I had to learn these lessons the hard way, and that's why these training sessions are super important, and I find them to be super valuable because all you're really doing is I'm allowing you to compress your time by learning from my mistakes, right? That's coaching 101. That's how it works. That's why it's so incredibly powerful, and that's why I believe in it wholeheartedly. So I hope you guys got something from this episode. Again, we put a lot of thought into these topics and how we're going to present them to you guys and what you get from them. And I really do hope that you're getting something from it. If you are new, once again, please subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Leave a comment below. We love to get open dialogue with you guys. Answer any questions you may have, any concerns you may have, any topics you want to hear us talk about, by all means, please leave a comment. We try to get to everybody. I respond to each and every comment. That's me doing it. I love taking care of my stuff with tender love and care. That's what it's all about. I'm all about building relationships, and I think you should be doing the same thing. Don't forget, man, SOPs, super important. If you're not 100% what SOPs are, just Google it. But basically, in a nutshell, is creating the process from start to finish, how certain items are done. So you can have subcategories like, you know, we have techs, so the technical side, I get the call to the guy doing the thing, and also even on service calls, I have everything broken down from the time I walk into the job to the time I leave. And then you have subcategories out of that. So it can become very convoluted. But in the beginning, all you really want to do is simplify. Process from the time the call comes in to who goes to what job, how it's being brought back to the office, how the follow-up is being done. Dial all those things in, and I guarantee you, you will see massive returns. Once again, thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day. Keep kicking ass, keep crushing it in your business. Peace.